1 second, everybody, in case there is someone.
Are we live?
We are live.
We're live.
We live. Just making sure our sound is working. Making sure everything's not breaking on me.
We're not dead.
We're all green. No, we're green right now. I mean, I guess you could dye green.
Please,
though, if you
sir. May I have
Son
some
of
more?
Load.
I mean, I got a notification that we were live.
Okay,
so.
as long as someone got it, thank you, everybody.
Hey, Sean's here.
Hello, Sean.
Sean might be able to hear us.
Just making sure we're about to start in 1 second. Hope you're doing well, Sean.
What's up?
All right, I think we are good. All right, there we go, everyone. Remember to, if you do like it, guys, please share it. Let your friends know we're live. Come check it out. Before we actually get our show going real quick, too, we do have a contest going, so we will talk about that in a minute. So, just to let you know, if you want to try to win some free stuff.
Hey-o.
Who's going to share?
Free stuff.
I can't share that for some reason.
How dare you?
It's because I'm hosting, not as me. All right, guys, give me 1 quick second. If there's anything wrong with the sound, please let me know real quick. But I think we should be good. Everything looks good on mine. Everything's green.
Things were good.
So on that note, guys, welcome to season 1, episode 10 of Talkin Geek. I'm your host, Aaron. We have the magnificent Robert here.
Yes, magnificent. Hey, so it's Talkin Geek.
It is Talkin Geek.
This week we're talking about the Disney Plus launch today, Star Wars, Marvel, DC news. We got Pokemon news. We got all kinds of stuff coming down the pipeline. So join us in the chat. Have a little conversation with us. We're going to be having some fun tonight.
Hopefully we will. And let us know what makes you geek, guys, because that's what we're here for. We're here to give you geek news, and we want to know what you want to hear and what makes you geek, and maybe we can talk about that with you. So starting off, we have a game that we want to talk about real quick called Res Please. It is by the developer Longneck Games, based in Portland, Oregon, actually. The game is set to release Q1 of next year, so keep on the lookout for that on Steam and a couple other platforms.
Yeah, so a little description from Longneck Games. Res Please is a pixel art puzzle platformer where 1 or 2 players control 2 wizard brothers who possess the power of resurrection. The game features traditional platforming elements, dangerous enemies, and puzzle elements that require the player to kill one of the wizard brothers to advance. In Res Please, death is just part of the adventure.
So a little about the gameplay, guys. Res Please is about working together, being clever, and taking chances.
You're out.
I am. I can play well
mainly because
others.
you don't take chances. You're very clever and you play with others. But
well, that's why you need to play there, so you take the chances for me.
Cool.
So in true old school fashion, everything can kill you in 1 hit, guys. And there are tons of hazards, traps, monsters that want to kill you. As the brothers progress, they will unlock new spells that they haven't quite mastered yet, but do allow them some new tricks to conquer the increasingly more difficult challenges ahead. Yeah. So again, Res Please comes out first quarter of 2020, guys.
Be on the lookout for it, guys, from Longneck Games. It sounds kind of fun.
It will
we
be
might
fun.
have to play it together.
See if we live.
See if we can work together. I don't know if we can.
Yeah, you'll be fine. You'll take the chance and die. I'll just keep resurrecting you.
All right, that sounds good.
So, so you got a lot.
Yeah, let's launch into the first story. So obviously the big news: Disney Plus launched today. I've been at work all day, so I haven't had a chance to watch anything. I haven't had a chance to log into it. I know that there were some issues that people were reporting with streaming issues. So I know Disney also mentioned that that people were having some issues with that. But it'll be interesting to kind of hear what they have to say.
I'm curious. So like you said, a lot of people were having issues. They were having buffering issues. They couldn't load everything on the screen. Some pages were coming up blank. So a lot of little things were going kind of wrong for it. But let's face it, guys. This is probably expected. No matter what people plan for, there's always going to be room for error. So Disney has responded with a statement regarding the load times and the high user volumes. The consumer demand for Disney Plus that has exceeded our high expectations. We are pleased by the We are pleased by this incredible response and are working to quickly resolve the current user issues. We appreciate your patience. So at least they acknowledge They weren't.
Yeah, I mean, they basically were like, well, it was more popular than we thought it was going to be, and we thought it was going to be immensely popular. So it sounds like they're kind of patting themselves on the back, like, we thought it was going to be amazing, and then it was even more amazing.
I want to know, what number do you pick? Like, all right, just maybe like 5 million users, and then like 20 million come in, or like, oh.
Well, you got to think, too, like, most people were probably pre-ordering it, so they should have had a pretty good, awareness number of it, but... not that surprising. I guess from reports, it's already gotten better. So, they've obviously, Disney's a giant corporation, and so they were very focused on making this work, right? They don't want to have, like, launch issues extend, multiple days or anything like that. So, yeah, it sounds like they're already, getting to resolve it. And there's a lot of content on there. Movies, new shows, including, The Mandalorian, which we'll talk about in just a moment.
Yes.
But... just kind of, it seems to be taking the world by storm. Pretty much everybody's gonna get it, right?
It seems like it. I mean, I know I'm waiting for right now for certain reasons.
Dare you?
I might have to wait. I mean, because of my day job, I have to wait a little bit.
Whatever.
So I'm excited though because it is getting, like you said, a lot of TV shows. I saw people watching. I don't know if you watched it though. Darkwing Duck is on there. It looked like.
Nice.
I was excited for that because I'm a huge Darkwing Duck fan.
I haven't watched that since I was a kid.
Exactly. I'm like, the nostalgia kicking in, and I'm going to kick my kiddo off the TV and be like, no, I'm watching it, not you. Yeah. So I know there's a lot of Disney Plus, a lot of Disney Junior stuff has gone on there. Yeah. So yeah, guys, definitely, I recommend checking it out.
Yeah, and I know, like if you're a Verizon customer, I think you can get like the first year for free. So there's definitely a few things out there. It's only like $7 a month, even if you can't get it for free. So it's actually not a bad price.
No.
And it sounds like, Disney this is just one more step in Disney conquering the world.
Exactly. Watch out, Sony. They're just gonna buy you to get Spider-Man back. I think at this point. And the cool thing is though, like you said, Mandalorian did drop, which amazing. But there was actually a small little surprise in it that I was happy for.
Yep.
Brian Potion. I butchered your name, man. I've met you, and I'm sorry. Actually posted that he's in The Mandalorian. He is now in the Star Wars universe.
Yeah.
If you don't know anything about him, he's a very big character actor. He played Jim Kubak on the WB's Mission Hill, Brian Spawansky on Comedy Central's The Sarah Silverman program, and in The Big Bang Theory, he was the geologist Bert Kibler. So he's done a lot of character roles. Yeah. He's actually a stand-up comedian. I've seen his show live. He's hilarious, guys. But he's a huge nerd. So right now, if you are watching us live, you will see that I have his post up. He said he was an ecstatic nerd in Nerd Cave, freaking out over being in Star Wars canon while family sleeps. Holy, and I don't want to say the other word because I can't. So it's so cool, guys. He's on it. He's uncredited, but he is on it. But the reason I bring it up, guys, is it's so cool that like a fellow nerd has gone on there, but somebody replied to him.
Was it Mark Hamill?
That it was. So again, guys, if you're on our live show, you will see Mark Hamill replied with open arms, the little sheep's welcoming him, and it says, "Welcome to the family." Long overdue, Brian.
Yeah.
So I thought it was so cool that Mark Hamill, out of all people, the biggest Star Wars alumni, really.
I mean, Mark Hamill just seems like he's always been the guy, especially that has really engaged with the fans from that original trio. You think Mark Hamill, you think Harrison Ford, you think Carrie Fisher. Yeah. Harrison Ford obviously became a movie star. Yeah. He was in everything. And, so he wasn't necessarily as tied into the fan base as Mark Hamill and Carrie Fisher. And then Carrie Fisher, she certainly was always very engaging with fans and stuff, but she also had a lot of personal problems, a lot of personal demons, and, has just never really engaged with fans at that level. But certainly in the last 5-10 years especially, Mark Hamill on Twitter is just, he's a delight. Like, he's just, he loves to join conversations, welcome people, talk about Star Wars. He's blunt. He provides his thoughts. I mean, a lot of people, The Last Jedi, a lot of people didn't particularly care for Mark Hamill, or Luke Skywalker's characterization in that movie, and Mark Hamill was kind of one of them. He even said, when the movie was coming out, like, I didn't really particularly care for the direction they took the character in, but that was the vision of the director, and so obviously that's where I went.
Exactly.
But, so he's always been honest. He's always engaged with fans. It just seems like another example of him being a really cool dude.
It is. So. And I like it, guys. So, like, and the reason I really wanted to mention it, too, is Brian Posehn, he's not a big actor. He's a small little guy. It just shows anyone can be in Star Wars if you just try hard enough. No, not you.
Oh.
I mean, maybe. We'll see where it could go. You know, who knows? But, you know, I mean, if The Mandalorian season 2 may come out, maybe you could, you know, reach out to Jon Favreau about it.
Well, yeah, I'll have to do that. So obviously, the big show dropping on Disney Plus today was The Mandalorian. Like I said, I have not had a chance to watch it. I'm probably going to go home and watch it immediately when I get home. So the first episode dropped. It's been pretty well received from what I've heard. People have been responding well to it. You know, it's only, I think, 40 minutes, so it's kind of shorter. A lot of people, maybe, I think I was one of them, I kind of thought, you know, it was going to be hour-long episodes. But I guess, you know, they're kind of shooting more for that 45-minute run time for each episode. Going to be about 8 episodes long, I think, per season. And so with that, you know, the opportunity to tell a long-form story, but maybe tighter, which I think, you know, a lot of those Netflix series have sometimes struggled to fill, you know, like 13-hour-long episodes.
Yeah.
Like, even though I love, you know, the Daredevil series, there's definitely, you know, some times in those seasons where, like, they're dragging things out.
Yeah.
Jessica Jones does that. Luke Cage really does that.
Even the
you
Defenders, too. The Defenders.
Yeah, and the Defenders was only 8 episodes, and there were still some dips in there. So, hopefully they found, like, a sweet spot in terms of, you know, they have enough time to tell the story they want to tell, but hopefully not too much filler or stuff in there where they're just trying to, you know, hey, fill an episode quotient or something like that.
Exactly.
So, I don't know.
And I mean, if you really think about it, guys, yeah, it's 40 minutes or so. And really, an hour-long TV show is about 45 to 50 minutes.
Yeah, I mean,
you give about 10 minutes of commercials.
If you've got commercials, yeah, it usually comes in about like 42 minutes, something like that. And that's with opening and closing credits and all that stuff. So,
exactly. So,
yeah, it's about the same as any hour-long show that would be not streaming. You know, like when it was on TV with commercials, but this obviously is streaming with no commercials, which is great.
That is great. And now the other thing too, guys, you know, right now from what I know, it's just episode 1 that's come out, right? It has
only the first episode. The second episode is dropping this Friday.
Oh,
and then and then it's going to be dropping every Friday. So they dropped the first one on Tuesday because it was the launch date. But the second episode comes this Friday, just in a few days. And then it's going to be every Friday after that. We're going to keep getting Mandalorian episodes. So,
and it's 13 episodes, you said?
I think it's only 8.
Or 8?
So we should have it done by, like, basically the end of the year.
Oh, okay.
Right around there is when, you know, so, yeah.
That'd be cool.
I'm looking forward to it.
So I have to buy it by Friday is what you're saying. So that way...
So you're not 2 episodes behind?
Yeah, exactly. That way I'm not falling behind on that one.
Yeah, exactly.
The other thing is, guys, real quick, I want to talk about a giveaway we are doing. So right now we have a giveaway.
We have a giveaway?
Yes, we do. So if you are watching live right now, just let you know, guys. We are giving away a couple different items. It's actually a pair of Deadpool. I was going to say Daredevil. Gosh, I was going to lose my geek card. Deadpool socks, a Dragon Ball Z little book, and a little Artemis thing. I can't remember exactly what that one is. But all you got to do, guys, is go to our Facebook page at facebook.com/officialgygo. We'll post the link to it in the description, so make sure you guys check that out in our chat.
Yeah, I'm gonna post it in the chat right now.
So on that note, we do basically all you gotta do is just invite your friends. All they have to do is once they're invited, go to that post and comment your name. Just tag you in it so we know they invited you, and that's an entry. That's all you have to do. Just invite your friends and tell them, hey, tag me in that post, please, or tag them first. This post right here, tag me, so that way you can win stuff. You know, these are going to be giveaways. We're going to try to start doing more giveaways, guys. Just, you know, hopefully you'll be able to do this. And I hope it all works for y'all.
Yeah.
So what else? So
we're super entertaining, so tell your friends about how entertaining we are.
I hope we're entertaining. Please also we're entertaining.
Stop goggling.
Okay. Did you, real quick in our chat, I did see Sean said something.
Yeah, Sean dropped in a couple of things that, you know, HBO Max, which is going to be HBO's streaming series, which, because everybody's launching one. They greenlit a Green Lantern series last week. I saw that. So we don't really have any news about it. I think it's from Greg Berlanti, and he's been involved with a lot of DC stuff before. So we'll see what that looks like. And then Sean is mentioning that they're going forward with a sequel to The Last Starfighter. So we'll see about that. They announce things all the time. Whether or not they ever end up on the screen, I don't know. But I mean, I'd be in. I'd be in for a Last Starfighter sequel.
It'd be interesting. I saw you said something about the Green Lantern.
Yeah, well, I just mentioned
sorry.
that.
I thought you said Starfighter. My
Thanks
mind said
for
Starfighter.
listening.
I'm sorry, guys.
That was the first item I mentioned.
Oh my gosh,
HBO
I am so
Max.
I'm sorry. I saw something that happened and it threw me off. This is why I can't do audiovisual and do the show. I'm sorry, guys.
Well,
I am so sorry.
You're failing.
I am. I love you though.
Well, let's move on.
Let me get away from the audiovisual stuff.
As we keep talking about Star Wars, there was an article that came out last week, an interview that Carrie Fisher's brother had given, where he kind of talked about the original plans for Princess Leia Organa in The Rise of Skywalker. Mm-hmm. That she was, gonna. They hint at it in The Last Jedi. They kind of, she shows off some Force abilities. There's that scene where she's like out in space and you think maybe she's gonna die, and then she's able to like get back to the ship through the Force. So they were original plans, supposedly, according to her brother, were that she was gonna potentially wield a lightsaber in Episode 9, and that this was gonna be more, she was gonna be more tapped into the Force. Was gonna be a major part of Episode 9. Obviously, with her passing away, they have announced she's still going to be in the movie. They're cobbling together. I think they have like 10 minutes or so of footage, of unused footage that they've shot for the last couple of movies. And so they're going to kind of use that footage and maybe a couple body double stand-ins. They're not like going to recreate her in a CGI way or anything like that. But they have talked they're going to use that footage and incorporate it in the story. So it sounds like they had to change a big component of Episode 9 to fit it, around her passing away. Which definitely, I think that's not necessarily surprising, but I also am, I'm really sad that we lost Carrie Fisher, just because Carrie Fisher was amazing, but also sad that we're not going to see that version now, because I would have been down for that. It
would have been really cool to show that the whole family basically at that point can wield the Force. Would be kind of cool. Yeah. Bring back Vader for a moment, just to have all three of them. Yeah. That would have been cool. It's sad though that, like you said, we lost her, and it's always one of those what would have happened. But it's sad. At least he commented, and at least he talked about it though. That's really cool. I like that. Sticking to some of the movie though, Loki.
Well, yeah, that's the Disney Plus series. Kevin Feige actually gave a really long interview where he revealed a bunch of stuff. Yeah. But basically, Kevin Feige, who is his title recently changed, but he's head of Marvel Studios. He's in charge of anything that has to do with the MCU, the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
He's the guy you go to if you want to be in the Marvel Universe.
For sure. And so he had talked about the Loki series is going to tie into the Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness movie. We already know that the WandaVision, the Scarlet Witch and Vision show is also going to tie into that movie. So now it just seems, I feel like that's pretty natural, pretty obvious. I mean, that Loki survived in basically a pocket universe through Endgame. So
thanks, Endgame.
It's not surprising that show is going to tie into the movie. And then, they also talked about actually the Hawkeye series with Jeremy Renner, that they had originally planned that out to be a movie. Yeah. And then they decided to change it in the long-form series, which I'm not really surprised at. Jeremy Renner, as popular as he is, isn't necessarily a movie star. Even in the same vein that Scarlett Johansson is. We're getting a Black Widow movie. Scarlett Johansson is a bigger star than Jeremy Renner.
So much more.
And I think a lot more people have been clamoring for a Black Widow movie than for a Hawkeye movie. Not trying to rag on Hawkeye. But so I'm not surprised that they decided to go in the TV route direction. But they did kind of reveal that that's coming. So that's not coming till
spring
2021. Yeah, Loki's in spring of 2021. Hawkeye's in fall of 2021. So we got a long way. The first series that Marvel is releasing on Disney Plus is The Falcon and the Winter Soldier, and that's still basically a year away at this point too. That's fall of next year of 2020. So we're pretty far away from anything Marvel showing up on Disney Plus, other than the movies, which a bunch of them are on the streaming service, including Endgame, including the first Iron Man. Which I think a lot of people were actually surprised, as most of Phase 1 actually was released before Disney purchased Marvel Studios. Yeah. So most of those movies were released through Paramount Pictures. Right. I think The Incredible Hulk was through Universal.
Right.
But all the other ones in that Phase 1, Iron Man 2, Captain America: The First Avenger, and even the Avengers movie were all released under the Paramount banner. Now the Avengers, actually, all that money still went to Disney. They had purchased it. They had purchased it before that, so they still all got all the money. But the opening credits were Paramount.
Yeah, and it's gonna be interesting because we have like you said, another year before we technically get anything Marvel related. So we have to live off Endgame for another year, guys. Before
now we're about 6 months away from Black Widow. So
that's right.
That's
so
coming in May.
And then we gotta have that last us 6 more months or so.
That'll last. Yeah, we don't know exactly the drop date for Falcon and Winter Soldier. So it seems like we're gonna get Black Widow, then Falcon and Winter Soldier, and then the Eternals is in November of next year. So that's about a year away at this point. So I mean, exciting stuff. But we're still 6 months away, and
that lull period.
That's definitely it's making me freak. I need my Marvel, but I got some Star Wars.
Thanks, guys.
I got Star Wars.
He has Star Wars. I got nothing really. I have video games.
But speaking of comic book TV shows,
yes.
So if you guys have HBO and you've been watching The Watchmen, who watches The Watchmen? I do. So we're 4 episodes in. I'm not going to talk about any spoilers at this point.
But it does not follow the movie, we said, right? It follows
no.
comic.
This is definitely a sequel to the comic.
Okay.
There are definitely a few characters from the original comic. I'm very interested to know, and certainly if anybody's in the chat, are you watching the show and you haven't read the comic? Because I'm really interested if there's anybody watching the show that hasn't read the comic, would it make sense? Because even though this is a standalone story, there is a ton of references to the comic. There's characters that aren't explained who they are. And if you don't have that background knowledge from the comic, I don't know how well it would play. 4 episodes in, this series is incredibly well crafted. It's incredibly well acted. It is very intriguing. It's very interesting. It's very mysterious. I mean, there's no answers at this point. We're 4 episodes in and we have no answers to anything, and every episode brings at least one more mystery, if not more. And honestly, I just finished rereading the comic.
Right.
And the comic is that way too.
Yes.
Like the comic, the whole time, you don't know what's going on. Like you're trying to figure it out the same way the characters are. So in that way, this is kind of a spiritual, sequel. Where it's definitely trying to capture that same vibe of the comic. I don't know that I'm 100% on board with it. I enjoy the characters and everything, but I don't know.
With you, because I know you like watching movies and all this.
I love the comic. Yeah.
Do you feel, because there's only I think 13 episodes for this or so?
No, I think there's gonna be 9.
9.
So we're about halfway through.
Yeah. Is there a point where you're like, I'm done watching, or are you gonna just watch the whole season?
No, I'm definitely gonna watch the whole thing.
Okay.
It's a good show. I hope that it wraps up. Actually, I was listening to a podcast with Damon Lindelof, who's the show's creator.
Oh, okay. Oh, nice.
They have like a companion podcast that's going along with it, where they're going to do like every 3 episodes. There's 9 episodes. Every 3 episodes, they're going to do one. So I listened to the one that was about the first 3 episodes, and they kind of talked, and he did talk about like we've got a lot of mysteries. You're going to get all the answers.
Right.
So he said we're going to wrap up all of these things. We're going to honestly the comic itself does that too. I mean, really the only thing at the end that's not wrapped up that you don't know what's going to happen is you kind of don't know what's going to happen with Rorschach's journal.
That's right.
But you kind of do also.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's, you don't know for sure, but you also... And so he kind of intimated that it's going to be the same type of thing where we're going to get answers to all of our mysteries. I'm certainly interested in finding out what those answers are. Mm-hmm. I just hope I'm not disappointed by them. So that's where I'm at this point. Is like, I'm enjoying it so far, but I'm still a little bit worried, is it going to stick the landing? And, honestly, the hardest thing for the show is that it's named Watchmen. Like, if it wasn't named Watchmen, I think I wouldn't have the expectations. So I probably would be enjoying it more. But because it's named Watchmen, I'm watching it going, man, this has to live up to this standard. Mm-hmm. And I hope it gets there. I honestly, I'm rooting for it. I've liked it so far. There's a lot of mysterious stuff going on that you don't know what's happening. So, we'll see what happens. So
Nice.
if you're watching it, guys, hit me up in the chat. We'll talk about it a little bit more. No spoilers. But definitely, I'm interested. I'm definitely going to keep watching it. So I think we got like 5 more episodes, every Sunday night.
That'd be awesome.
Who watches The Watchmen?
That'd be awesome. I need to get into it. I just have so much on my plate, but I promise you, before the year's over, I will watch it.
You better. We got to do it. We got to do a review of the season. So
Exactly.
you better.
I will definitely watch it. But sticking to that darker, grittier news, I guess.
Yeah.
Batman. The Batman. With sparkly Batman. Has a newcomer joining the actually pretty big cast, I would say, honestly, at this point.
Yeah.
I apologize if I mispronounced her name. Jamie Lawson. She's a recent graduate from Juilliard School, I believe is how you say it. And she's in a notable role. That's all they said so far, guys. So a lot of people reported this, IGN and a bunch of others have said that she is in the Batman.
Yep.
That she will play a notable role character, but nothing else has been said. The only thing that we have going for us right now is on one of her social media accounts. I believe it was on her Instagram. I could be wrong on that part, guys. I apologize. She did comment how her dream role would be to play Catwoman,
which has already been cast.
Exactly.
Zoe Kravitz is already playing Catwoman in this movie.
Exactly.
My feeling is we know that Jeffrey Wright has been cast as Commissioner Gordon.
Barbara.
And so I'm thinking she's going to be playing Barbara.
Which is
that's just my guess. And maybe I don't know. It's because let's be honest, it's because they're both black. And so I'm like, oh, she looks like she could be Barbara Gordon in this universe.
She looks young enough to be
the
daughter.
That, obviously, so Batgirl. So I don't know. I mean, we'll see what happens. I'm looking forward to it.
I guess
they've kind of intimated that this is supposed to be, the Long Halloween is kind of what they're writing. So I actually haven't read that comic, so I don't really know if Barbara Gordon has a role in that comic. So maybe there's a different character that has a major role in that comic that I'm not familiar with.
I don't remember if she's in. Do you remember? Frank's off camera, but do you happen to remember Frank? No. So yeah, I don't. It's been a few years since I've read The Long Halloween. The only other character I could think of, because I believe she is in it, is Poison Ivy. And
I'd be down for that.
I could see that because you already have Catwoman.
Oh.
So you have the Catwoman and Poison Ivy relationship that they have in the comics from Gotham Sirens back in the day. So technically, all they'd be missing is Harley, but we already have what's her name as Harley Quinn?
Margot Robbie.
Margot Robin.
Yeah, Margot Robbie.
See, this is why he's the name one. I forget names. As Harley, but she's not going to be in this movie, and I don't even know if they're tying Suicide Squad and all that into this at all, or if this is a separate thing.
I don't know. It seems like what they're doing now is they're making their movies standalone, and then they're not worrying about the connectivity.
Yeah. So I mean, maybe they'll get another actress to play Harley, because then they could have the Gotham Sirens in it. But if it's following Long Halloween, I want to say Harley's not in it, but I believe Ivy is. So she could either be Ivy or Barbara Gordon. And when you say notable role, I mean, those are 2 iconic roles, too. Those are everybody knows who Barbara Gordon is. Everybody knows who Poison Ivy is, and Catwoman. Taking Catwoman off the table since we have Zoe Kravitz as Catwoman. My thing is this, and I want to see what you think. I think her role is going to be very small, though, because you have already some major players in this movie. Do you think, because she's, let's face it, and I'm not trying to be mean to her career at all, she's a no-name actress right now. Do you think they're going to just give her a small little notable role, like, hey, this is Barbara, and then just focus on everybody else, or do you really think she may have a chance and actually have movie time or screen time?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it sounds like, and there's maybe an update to this, I'm reading right now, that she's going to play Bella, a grassroots political candidate running for office in Gotham. So, that maybe it's just a brand new character. Maybe it's someone that, so maybe she's just gonna be. Maybe she's gonna be connected to Harvey Dent in some way. There have been rumors that they were casting a Two-Face.
Because Two-Face is a big part of Long Halloween.
Maybe it's gender swapped and she's gonna be Two-Face. I have no idea. A female
Scarecrow. Dude, I would love. Oh, that would be awesome to see Scarecrow.
So I have no idea.
love
So
Scarecrow.
it sounds like not Barbara Gordon.
So Barbara's off the table. But I want to know because she could play one of the Falcone's kids or something or a relative.
Yeah.
Because the good thing about Gotham is you still have the mob is alive and well in Gotham City, so you could easily throw her in there as any of the mobsters' daughters or sisters, cousins, whatever, and it's like there she is. And then of course maybe they'll create a whole new villain out of this. Who knows? I mean, it's been a long time I think since we've gotten some really good strong Batman villains. Honestly. Yeah,
I mean I think the last major one that was like created was Harley Quinn in the early '90s.
That was early '90s. I mean we have the
Hush.
Court of Owls. Hush was mid '90s I think.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. And I mean, the Court of Owls came out early 2000, but that wasn't really one set villain. It was a group of villains, of people.
Yeah.
So it'd be kind of cool. I would love to see a new Batman villain, honestly.
Sure.
Like, come out of this. This would be really cool. I mean, plus to me, if you're not connecting it, it could be interesting to see how you take this. I mean, because Harley Quinn was originally never a comic book character. She was only animated.
She debuted on the animated show.
And then they brought her to the comic books. It'd be cool to see the movies kind of do the same thing.
Yeah.
My opinion.
We'll see. I'm looking forward to it.
Exactly.
So, Sean in the chat wants us to talk about the Sonic trailer. We're getting to it in a minute.
We actually have that set up too.
It's on the list here. We're almost there.
We got one thing ahead of it real quick.
Yeah, before we get to that, we're going to talk. We just watched this trailer.
Yes.
I know it dropped in the last couple days for The Invisible Man.
So
definitely very horror vibe. Elizabeth Moss is starring in this movie. There was no release date. It just said coming soon. So I don't know, probably within the next 3-4 months, I would guess.
Probably. But that one looked intense, man.
It did. I mean, this is like horror movie, like basically, at least from what I could tell from the trailer, the plot is ex-boyfriend who, then turns invisible and basically spends all his time torturing his ex-girlfriend.
Yeah. What's better than killing you, torturing you, and making everybody think you're crazy?
Yeah.
I watched it and I got chills. And I'm a big fan of horror films, but I don't like a lot of the horror films lately because they seem more like a buddy used to call it blood porn. Just how much blood can we throw into it? Yeah. So I kind of got away from the horror
torture porn. I think is like
that's another term.
Uh-huh.
I got away from horror movies because of that. I mean, I'll go back and watch independent horror films because they're not like that as much anymore. Yeah. But this one, I was like, oh,
that trailer looked cool. Yeah.
I was excited again.
I didn't really know what to expect. I just I came across it, earlier today. Yeah. I was like, oh, The Invisible Man, and obviously, Universal's done a bunch of different monster stuff.
Exactly.
Where they've tried to do, they did, back in the day, they did The Wolfman with Benicio del Toro, totally failed. They did Dracula Untold, totally failed. They did the Tom Cruise Mummy movie, totally failed. So this one, it's still from Universal. It's still the same studio. But this one, I mean, it definitely caught me. And I'm not really a horror guy, but it's very psychological, which is definitely my genre. I like psychological stuff. So this looked cool. I'm on board.
I'm on board for it. I can see this one actually maybe a fourth time's a charm, I guess.
Hey, we'll see. I'm looking forward to it.
So I guess we'll grant Sean's request maybe.
Go for it.
Guys, just dropped actually hours ago, earlier today, the Sonic trailer, but this is the second one. So number 2, after the complete failure of the first trailer, I mean, total backlash. It was one of the most unliked videos on YouTube at that time. The character looked terrible. He looked humanized, and people didn't want it. So much so that they said, hey, we're going to fix it. We're going to make him look better. And they dropped the second trailer.
They did make him look better. I still don't think he looks good. I think there's a possibility, and maybe I'm, am I the crazy guy? Am I the aliens guy in this moment? I think there's a possibility that they're playing 3D chess with us, and this was always the design. This one right now that just dropped has always been the design, but they were worried about getting backlash to that design, so they dropped a trailer with a terrible design so everyone would hate it. And then now they release this one, and everyone's like, it's amazing. I still don't think it looks that good. Maybe I'm alone. I still don't think the movie overall still doesn't look that good, and I don't think the design of Sonic looks that good. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know.
I will say this. I watched a comparison. I watched both trailers again.
Yeah.
Because I was like, I want to see, maybe it's in my head, maybe they didn't change them much. It is a dramatic change.
Oh, it's way different. It looked
but-
that first one was so awful. It was
Yeah.
so bad. Like that's the only thing that's feeding into this theory is like how could they think that first one looked like it was so bad. And so I'm like, no, like I'm not the conspiracy theory guy. I'm really not. But I'm also like
sounding it.
maybe on this one. Maybe. I don't know. It just seems
they're gonna
like
make the first one look like crap, so everything else looks great.
right. It's like by comparison, all of a sudden everyone's like, "This is amazing. This is the Sonic I've always wanted." And I'm like, "Is it though?"
I would have done this if they would have done the same trailer re-released with the new version. I wouldn't believe the conspiracy theory because then that was like we actually had to like fix it. If you look at this new trailer, all the scenes from that first trailer, except for one maybe about 10-second scene and one maybe 5-second scene, is all that's
It's
the
totally
same.
different.
Everything else is different. The music's even different too. They got rid of I think the first one was Gangster's Paradise, I think, or the start of it in the first trailer, and this one that
Yeah.
music's gone.
I mean, that's pretty normal though. They usually
True.
drop different music in different trailers.
That is true, but
It's like
it makes me wonder, like you say, was it? This was also at that point. Let's face it, this was a perfect marketing scheme. If that's the case,
If like
That would
that's
be
the
perfect.
thing is like, are they that smart, or like did they truly like,
Is there someone?
or was the backlash truly so overwhelming that they overworked their animators to the bone and
Yeah.
got them to redo the entire movie with the entire character?
Which would probably
but
cost you a couple more million.
enough about that controversy. The trailer itself. Do you like it?
I honestly loved it a lot more than the first one, but again, there were a couple of little
low
things.
bar to clear.
Exactly, just a little hop. The little chihuahua just jumps over that little bar. It was a lot better than the first one.
Yeah.
I'm still, don't get me wrong, I love Jim Carrey. I think he's hilarious. I don't know if I still like
20
him as
years
Doctor.
ago.
Yeah, 20 years ago. Heck, I mean 30 almost at this point now.
Hey now. I mean, that's 25.
Okay, 25.
25 gives us Dumb and Dumber. So,
Okay, 25 years ago.
yeah.
And let's face it, his humor's changed over the years. His mindset,
Yeah.
he's a lot more outspoken than he was
Well,
25 years ago.
yeah,
too.
even like 15 years ago, he definitely took that turn into dramatic acting, and
Yes.
his comedic acting has really never been the same since.
No,
which
it
is
really
fine.
hasn't.
You know.
But I don't know if I don't want that kind of Dr. Robotnik. So giving that comedic Dr. Robotnik has upset me still. Because I want a serious Dr. Robotnik. I want it to be like I'm really trying to chase this character.
Oh, this is a cartoon villain.
Yeah, he's
100%.
typical cartoon, 90s cartoon villain. On top of that, like
Yeah.
it's like Shredder from
And,
Turtles.
and honestly, I think this is a 90s cartoon movie,
yeah,
and I have no interest in it. Now, that's not to say, and maybe it's a good movie, and maybe it's going to appeal to a lot of people. It just looks like a kid's movie
Yes.
that I don't have interest in seeing.
exactly. And
That's where I'm at.
I love how you say that because my child's old enough to kind of comment what she likes and doesn't like, and she's like, "Oh my god, it looks so cute," and it looks so. She was I fell in love with it,
Sure.
and again, me being the hesitant person, I'm like, I don't know. I mean, I'll take her because she's gonna want to see it. But,
Sure.
I
Because you're
think-
not a terrible father.
No.
Maybe.
He's like, I'll
That-
take her.
that
Let her
we
sit in the
know
mirror by
of.
herself.
Right. I'll be back in an hour, kid.
Wow, an hour. That's a short movie.
Well, maybe I want to catch the ending. Maybe that ending will be good when that happens. The one thing I did comment on, which is what some people were curious on, because Sonic was already on Earth in the first trailer, and we were wondering how did all that happen. And this one he comments, and this is one thing I didn't like. He's an alien, because he basically comments he's from another world.
Yeah, he said, well, and so is that the question is that like another dimension, or is it truly
So-
like from outer space? Like, because yeah, I kind of had that same thing, and I'm like, I don't know about that. Like,
Yeah.
I don't. That feels weird. It feels awkward.
That felt forced a little bit because the rings now are, like you said, are they
look like,
transdimensional?
they look like portals.
yeah.
Yeah, like that's how he was using it.
And that's what it seemed like, because in one trailer he throws it up and he jumps through it.
Right.
And then so that makes me wonder, is this ring, does he tell it what to do? Can he tell it what Earth or where to go?
Yeah.
Or is he just throws it up and prays it goes where he wants it to go? And then...
And I'm sure the movie will tell us, like, they shouldn't answer all those things in the trailer.
Exactly.
Like,
And
you don't want to
that's-
spoil everything.
That is true. So, again, I like the character. He looks a little bit better. The comedy was funnier in this one. There's one scene where he's like, "Oh, I want to go to the biggest rubber band in the world," and then he's like, "No, we're not going." And then Sonic goes and comes back. He's like, "Yeah, it was pretty lame." And it's like that's kind of true.
Yeah,
Like,
that
that's
was
what happens.
that was a funny joke. I like that one.
So I'll probably see it still because, like I said, Kiddo, Jim Carrey still. I still love Jim Carrey. I like you said, he went serious. I started liking his serious roles since the number 22 and Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless
I
Mind.
love it.
my two favorite serious movies he ever did. But yeah, I'm kind of curious where he's going to go with it.
Yeah.
Again, it feels like you're right though. It's going to be let's watch a '90s cartoon in real life, and I really got that.
Well, and
too.
it's also like, what contract with the devil did James Marsden sign where he has to be in like all these movies with animated characters?
Oh, I feel so bad for that guy too. Every time I see him,
because this just looks like he was wasted as Cyclops because that first series just like did nothing. Like, and then they completely cut him out of the third movie because he went to go star in Superman Returns, which was awful.
Failed.
Like, it's like he's a good actor. I like James Marsden, but then what was he in? Was he in like one of the Chipmunks movies or the Smurfs or something? Like, he was in another one of these terrible, like, you know, is it CG or is it live action?
I think he was in the second Chipmunks one because the first one, or the first Smurfs was Neil Patrick Harris.
No, the first one was the guy that was My Name Is Earl. Whoever that guy is.
In the
I thought it was
the one with the princess. The Disney
I don't know.
one.
I don't know either.
I don't know.
Something.
We're
But yeah,
off on a tangent.
Happily ever after.
Let's get back on track. But yeah, poor guy. I feel bad for him. Like he could do so much more.
Yeah, poor handsome Hollywood leading man actor earning millions of dollars.
Hey, he's not earning billions though, so I feel bad for him.
Well, I think Robert Downey Jr. might be the only actor earning billions.
Well, I feel bad for all actors. So some other gaming news, I guess, would be the easiest way to segue into that. So Marvel's Avengers is coming out, I believe, next year, and they released a lot of info at E3 this past year. Some more info has come out since Games was the Luca Games and Comics and Games 2019 convention. They have announced the heroes that we get to play. We saw a few people on screen already, you know, but I was curious who we were actually going to get. I believe they have, who did they say?
It's Thor, Iron Man, Black Widow, Hulk, Captain America, and then Miss Marvel is supposedly central to the plot. So Miss Marvel is, you know, in the comics is a Muslim American, I believe, who is an Inhuman. Kamala Khan, I believe is her name.
Yes,
and she is inspired by Captain Marvel to become Miss Marvel. She's an Inhuman, so I think she has like stretching powers, kind of like Mr. Fantastic.
She's a little bit like Mr. Fantastic in that sense.
And so apparently, you know, she's going to be one of the characters you get to play as, and apparently has a major role in the gameplay. And they've said they're going to add characters, including like Hawkeye and some other characters that you're going to be able to play as. But those are the 6 that are going to be available at launch.
Yes.
The story is going to have multiple different ways that you can go. So depending on what choices you make, the game will go different directions, different endings.
Yes. Those
types of things. So they're really, you know, playing this up. You know, hopefully it's good.
From reading on it and, you know, seeing some of the videos, basically what it says is that you're going to be able to do like Warzone missions, being able to play the hero at any time, both in single player and cooperative mode, up to 4 players. So that kind of reminds me a little bit, I don't know if you ever played it back in the day, Marvel Ultimate Alliance? No. Okay. So Marvel Ultimate Alliance is an older Marvel game that they tried pushing.
Yeah.
You and up to 4 players could play together, pick up to, I believe there was about a dozen heroes you could choose from. And you would pick them, you would use each other's powers to try to get through levels. When the second game came out, it was kind of more based on the Civil War comic at the time, which same thing, you would work together. But in that one, you could do like some of the powers together, like Captain America would hold a shield, Iron Man would shoot the beam at it, and you could like knock off a bunch of villains and stuff like that. So I got this feel that it's trying to be more of a serious, almost MMO style in this one, because that one was a little more cartoonish. You had an overhead shot and you kind of ran through it that way. This one seems you're going to be more on the ground level and third person view from everything I've seen. I could be dead wrong because you're playing one, you know, just, I don't know, you're playing a character I feel that's not going to, how's the word I'm looking for? It's not going to really be a superhero, I guess, because didn't we say also that you were going to be a recruit for S.H.I.E.L.D., I thought, at one point?
Oh, no, that's a different game.
Oh, that's a different one?
Yeah, that's the
games, guys.
That's like the 3D, or the experience
that's the ultimate, yeah.
See,
there's so many games out there, I've lost track. I mean, Death Stranding just came out, I've also been playing that.
It's a sad day in the world when I was able to know a little bit. Like,
I have to take away 1 point from my gaming card.
Yeah.
At least 1. I mean, maybe 2,
I'm like, I am not the gamer. I should not know about this.
That's why I was like, I know there's something to recruit, but there's a lot of 2 Marvel games coming out. We
Yeah.
just had.
Well, that one's more just like that's
um,
the virtual reality experience. I don't think that's really a
that's true.
game. That's just
Is that virtual one? That's true. But I don't know. Like the other thing I was gonna lead into is trying to get into. Ms. Marvel is gonna be an interesting character to bring out instead of Captain Marvel, which threw me off because Ms. Marvel is more to me. If you have to know the comics or you have to watch one of the Spider-Man cartoons to really know who she is.
yeah. I'm sure they'll explain it in the game. Like I'm sure you'll get a good introduction to her, and I think this could be a real launching point for that character. They've already announced that actually she's going to have a Disney Plus series as well.
So that explains why they're doing that.
So I think that they're kind of tying all this stuff together. Like they want to be more diverse.
Exactly.
As a company, and so adding in a Muslim American hero that people can play as, and
so I wonder if when they release Spider-Man, I wonder if they're gonna release Miles Morales or Peter Parker
in the game.
Yeah, I wonder who. I want to know what you guys think. Do you think they're doing just to appease like everybody? Do you think it's because the character is that good? Do you like the character Ms. Marvel versus Captain Marvel? Would you rather have seen Captain Marvel in it instead? Let me know what you guys think because. Again, I've read Ms. Marvel a little bit. I was never a huge fan. Like you said earlier, she does kind of stretch like Mr. Fantastic. If I want to read someone who has similar powers, I'd rather just kind of read the Fantastic Four because I also love the Thing, Sue Storm, Johnny Storm. I always like the characters, and of course, I'm a huge Doctor Doom fan.
Yeah,
so
for sure.
let me know what y'all think about that too. And of course, more gaming news that's come out, and hopefully, someone doesn't best me on this one this time.
I will not best you on this one. The only thing I know about this is gotta catch 'em all.
Gotta catch 'em all. Gotta catch 'em all.
Sure.
I can't remember how the song goes.
I don't know.
So
all I know is the phrase.
The phrase.
Gotta catch 'em all.
That's it. I'm out. I'm on my way
I think
now.
a hat, like a hat with a red bill.
Yeah, you gotta turn it backwards when you throw the ball
Okay,
too.
cool.
Gotta catch this guy.
All right.
So Pokemon is what we're talking about,
Extent
guys.
of my knowledge.
Pokemon Sword and Shield drops on November 15th. So it's interesting to me on this sense as a gamer. It's actually going to go up against Star Wars The Fallen Jedi. So both games are technically Sword and Shield are two games, but all these games are coming out on the 15th, competing with each other, and technically still competing with Death Stranding, which just launched this past Friday. So this is why I said, guys, I'm kind of confused on all my games because a lot of video games are dropping right now because Christmas is around the corner.
Yep.
So Pokemon Sword and Shield comes out. We're not big Pokemon people. I haven't watched the show in a while. I played some of the games. But the reason I wanted to bring it up, guys, is the Pokemon Company International and Game Freak have revealed details about their first official online competition for Pokemon Sword and Shield. So on Friday the 15th, you're going to be able to start registering for the competition team. And that will last from the 15th of November up to December 5th. And then the competition period is going to be from December 6th through Sunday, December 8th. It's going to be single battles. Eligible Pokemon is basically anything you're going to be able to catch in Pokemon Sword and Pokemon Shield. So it's going to be cool, guys, because I haven't seen a competition one in a while. So I think it'd be cool that we're going to get this almost right off the bat. Within a month of the game coming out, you're going to start being able to play and compete. So all you Pokemon fans out there, November 15th, make sure you sign up if you want to compete. And make sure you start catching all the Pokemon you want, so that way you can have a good team set up and hopefully be able to win on the tournament that week, next weekend. Or I'm sorry, that's December 6th and the 8th, which is Friday and Friday through Sunday of this year. And really, that's kind of all I want to talk about with that part because I haven't played Pokemon in a while. If you do watch our Twitch stream, we do have a streamer that we support. Her name is Victoria. She does stream a lot of Pokemon stuff. If you guys want to check it out, she will be playing it this weekend, actually. So you'll be able to watch that.
Nice.
So that pretty much covers the Pokemon side. But I really want to talk about really quick, just Death Stranding did come out, like I said, this past weekend. To mixed reviews. I'm still playing it, so do expect to see a review this week about it. The music I love.
Mm-hmm.
I think you would actually like the music to it. It's really cool, really chilled.
Nice.
And it's beautiful. To look at. So if you haven't played any kind of Kojima game, definitely play it. So I know I mentioned Norman Reedus is in it and Guillermo del Toro, but after watching the credits and the opening scenes, there's a crap ton of movie stars in it.
Nice.
There's like another 4 or 5. I was like, oh my gosh. And my mom was actually sitting there with me watching it, and she recognized some of the names. She was like, oh, that's an old actress. That's an old actor. Really? She's like, yeah. Okay.
Nice.
So guys, if you want to play it, I definitely recommend it.
Yeah.
If you really want to play Fry from Futurama. just hot
Who
sexy
doesn't want
one
to?
for all the women out there because of Norman Reedus.
Yeah. Well, and some more gaming news, and again, thanks to Sean for dropping this in the chat.
Sean. You're amazing.
He mentioned that Sony PS5 may bring back cartridges.
What?
So let me explain. I got the article up here.
Uh-oh.
So basically, they're solid state drives, like that they're talking about.
Okay.
Having proprietary solid state drives that would have basically instant loading, so you could save a bunch of different games on one. And then you could swap them out. So if you had, your different games on different ones or whatever, you could buy, a console with very limited memory and then upgrade it. Those different types of things. So that's kind of what it sounds like. Not necessarily like, we're back in the,
Hey, you're not supposed to do that.
Not going back to those days. Yeah. Oh yeah, you're not supposed to do that, which is why everybody's games got ruined.
Exactly.
Because we all did it.
It worked, Aaron. It worked. Okay.
It did work.
So,
got
real
it
quick
working.
car story with cartridges. For all of you who are old enough to remember the days of Blockbuster, and why are you breaking my?
Because I don't like you.
I know, but still, Hollywood Video, Blockbuster, and in my hometown we had a local hometown rental game thing. So I rented a video game, and I didn't look at it right. I just put it straight into my system. It didn't work. I'm like, oh, okay, blow. I'll take it out and blow on it. Dead roach inside the thing. And I was like, how the? Mom, get this out.
Gross.
I was 8, I think, at the time.
Nice.
I don't know. That's my horror story with cartridge
That's pretty
gaming.
awesome.
But guys, we're gonna wrap it up here. We've been on for quite a while. But I just do want to remind everybody we do have our contest going on. So again, go to our Facebook page at facebook.com/officialgygo. Right now we have the post pinned on the page. You can win some socks, a little notebook, and a little item for it. All you have to do is invite your friends. All they have to do then is go to the post and comment that you invited them. So just have them tag you in the post or tag them in the post and invite them so that way they know to tag you back in it. Really simple, guys. It's just this week is what we're doing for it. I really recommend to try to get some stuff because the socks look cool. The socks are comfortable.
It's free stuff, people.
And it's free stuff.
It's
before
free.
Spike. So I like it.
That's pretty sweet.
I want the Dragon Ball Z book, and she told me no. Your wife said no.
I want the socks.
You're not allowed to have them.
But I want it.
Have you
But that's
invited friends to like our page?
400 people.
I need
And
socks.
when they did they tag you that you
But
invited
it was
them?
all before this.
Sounds
I
like
need
you're
to make new
ineligible.
friends. I need new friends.
You do need new friends.
So
So
Definitely.
the other thing is just again, long neck games with
Yes.
Res Please coming out in early next year. Be on the lookout for that. We'll mention it a couple more times on Talkin Geek,
yeah.
especially as we get closer to it.
Definitely,
and I
guys.
think we're gonna play it when it comes out and stuff.
yes. If you go to their page as well, it's Res Please. That's REZPLZ game.com. That's
Yep.
their website as well. You can go check out some stills from it. I believe they actually have the demo of the first 10 minutes of the first level. I think is up there too.
Sweet.
So.
Well, Aaron's gonna stop talking so I can go home and watch The Mandalorian.
Someone wants to watch something.
I mean, I'm excited. I love
It's
Star
fun.
Wars.
It's gonna be fun, dude.
It looks really good. So if you've watched it yet, no spoilers. But I might drop a quick video in the next few days, just my thoughts. Probably on the weekend after the first 2 episodes are out, I'll probably drop just a quick video on the page and let people know what my initial thoughts are, and maybe we'll start a conversation, talk about it a little bit. So
That sounds good. So again, guys, Aaron and Robert here for Talking Geek. This is still season 1, episode 10. Let us know what makes you geek. Obviously, Star Wars for him. But y'all have a good night.
and Harry Potter and Lord of the Rings and Marvel
And
it's all
everything
of
else.
it.
Have a good night, guys.
See you